Should they restore the Snyderverse?
Yes, definitely they should. Again, I've kind of talked about this before, but I like the newer DC movies that have been coming out. I don't like only love the Zack Snyder stuff. I just, I always go back to Batman vs Superman and the way that Snyder really built this huge DC world, really in one movie.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of A-Listers. My guest today is a fan editor, one of the OGs of the fan editing community, my good friend, Kevin Dwyer, Mr. Souperboyx. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Andrew. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
You're up there with me, as they call us, the OGs of the fan editing world. So right off the bat, what made you decide to start fan editing, and how did you come up with your name, Souperboyx?
Oh man, it was such a long time ago. I was in, I think I was in middle school actually. But I think I always sort of had it was like a subconscious fascination of just movie trailers, and I was so excited for the Dark Knight trailer to come out. So back in like 2007, and there was that really cool teaser, and then the theatrical trailer, and I was like, I just love the whole like the art of trailers, and because it really is an art, and I loved going to see it on the big screen, and then I had finally watched a YouTube video where it was like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance trailer, where I think the YouTuber, it was like Mason G. Oliver, I want to say it was the YouTube name, and they created this really awesome crossover trailer using the individual movies like Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and Blade and Daredevil, and it was like, wow, this is so freaking cool, like literally like bringing to life a movie that doesn't exist, but there's this aspect of imagination that was just so interesting to me, and I was like, I would love to do something like that. And I actually, I booted up the Windows Movie Maker, and I just downloaded like YouTube clips, found out how to do it, and I just put together the most like just dank, very, very bad.
We all started there.
Yeah. It was just like a PowerPoint slideshow. It might as well have been,
And how about the name, the Souperboyx name?
Yeah, so I think it was really, actually, it wasn't actually Superboy X. It started as Superboy 45.
Right.
And I think I just tried Superboy, like with just regular, like spelled regularly, like Superboy, and that wasn't available, right? So I just like added the like soup. And what's funny is that I think maybe I did that subconsciously because my father actually had it was like a bowl for parties called the Super Bowl, and it was spelled like that, like with soup, and like maybe that's how it came to my head or whatever.
Now, aside from projects you've done, do you have any favorites when it comes to fan editing that come off the top of your head?
I mean, man, some of the stuff that people have been putting out there lately, it is so it's just amazing. Ultra Sergeant, I think, is probably the one that always kind of, like, if I was to show someone who didn't know about fan editing any kind of example, it would probably be one of his trailers. But Dr. Flashpoint, KR Presents, those are kind of like the three-headed monster that I think about right now, kind of, and just the ones that like I see have been putting a lot of stuff out lately, and it's just consistently good. It's like you can tell, like the thing about fan editors really deep down is that like we're actually writers in a way, right? We're storytellers, and when they actually tell new stories using existing footage, obviously it can be so it's just an experience. It's a whole new experience. And I think so for Ultra Sergeant, his Crisis on Infinite Earths trailer, he did the Marvel Unity thing. Dr. Flashpoint with his the Justice League 2 fan trailer. I mean, they're kind of capitalizing on the stuff that is already popular and just making it way cooler. And now that it's become so mainstream, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think more people are starting to notice. And, I think that's really cool too.
Now, I know you're a huge Smallville fan.
Yep.
Were you a Smallville fan right away when it came out, or did it take some time for you to get into it? And what made you fall in love with the show?
Well, it's funny, talking about kind of crossovers and superheroes interacting. I like the Justice League animated show a lot growing up, and I think it was when they brought the Flash in on Smallville where I was like, "Oh, okay, that's really cool." I think that was the first Smallville episode I watched, so it was like season 4 where the Flash
Nice.
came in, and I was like, "This is so like I love the super speed stuff. I love the interaction of the characters. I love the DC universe coming to life." On screen. And so I went back and rewatched the first 3 seasons, and then so I was a fan, from season 4 on. And
The Flash, like we had Aquaman. We even had Justice League at the time,
yeah,
which I'm sure
yeah.
people who would go back nowadays and rewatch it or watch it for the first time wouldn't realize like this was groundbreaking stuff back then. We had no
I mean
Justice League. We had
that that was the Avengers before the Avengers, right?
yeah.
I mean, like, and the way they had the solo episodes, and then they brought them together for the crossover, and the electricity through my veins watching that. I was
Yeah.
still in middle school when it came out, but it was like, this is just awesome. I just want to keep watching this forever. I hope they do like another crossover episode. And
Yeah.
I love that part of it.
I remember thinking whenever that aired, just this takes you back to how things were back then. I was like, well, that's the closest thing we'll ever get to seeing Justice League together.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I never thought we'd get anything else.
I know, and the outfits were a little goofy, right?
Yeah.
And but I mean, it was just so cool just seeing the characters clash like that. And
Should they restore the Snyderverse?
yes, definitely they should. Again, I've kind of talked about this before, but I like the newer DC movies that have been coming out. I don't like only love the Zack Snyder stuff. I just I always go back to Batman vs Superman and the way that Snyder really built this huge DC world really in one movie. I mean, Man of Steel was obviously there was a lot of world building there, but at its core, that was just a really thoughtful Superman movie. But Batman vs Superman introducing all those characters, Lex, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and wondering where it was going to go. And I love all the Nightmare stuff. I love all that. I think they should definitely restore the Snyderverse. And if they don't do it, then more fan editors are going to keep trying.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you're right about that.
yeah, and I'm all here for it.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And you're right. It's one of those. Not to use the Marvel thing, but fine, I'll do it myself. That's the
Yeah,
fan editors.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay, you're not going to do it.
yeah. I mean,
Because Dr. Flashpoint made the like sequel trailer thing, and I think that's some of his best work he put out.
Yeah, it scratches the itch for sure, and that's what's great about the fan editing community. They will these projects into existence, because they really want to see it. And fan editors, I think at our core, we're selfish, because we know what we want, right? And we actually just spend all of this time and effort and energy bringing it to life, really.
Exactly. And I would say 9 times out of 10, it's not able to be monetized. It takes us, weeks and months to. So I'm sure you can relate. There's been times I make something, I was like, wow, that took me literally like 2 months to make this, and it only looks okay. Like, I'm not even going to use this. I just wasted my time making that. So, like, you're right. I think it's definitely that passion that goes into it. That I don't think a lot of other people could relate to who don't do it necessarily, just because a lot of people have that outlet where they can do something like that and they say, yeah, and I can monetize it every time 100%. But I still think there's that small barrier with YouTube and allowing it to really be like its own medium. But I think it's getting better with having platforms like TikTok and YouTube's popularity continuing to grow, just because you see those clips out there and you'll be like, wow, okay, that looks legit. And it's just getting crazier. Now, what makes Superman your favorite character?
Oh, how'd you know Superman was my favorite character?
Just had a hunch,
Yes, well, that's such a loaded question. I think there's the obvious part. I think just as a kid growing up, there's something super cool about exploring a character with all of those abilities and all the stories that could come out of that, and how awesome it would be to fly or to have super strength and all that. So I'm not gonna like sit here and lie. I just think that part is just really great, and I just love um, all of Superman's powers and stuff. And I just think it's cool when they explore that. But really, deep down, I think it's also because Superman has this. I think his greatest superpower is his restraint. And because he is so powerful, he sort of has to be really good as a really a human or a person. And I think at its core, that's really what I like about Superman. Just that he does the right thing, even though he's kind of like confused about his place in the world. He has all these powers, and I think we also talked about kind of how more recently they've been portraying like the evil Superman. And what I like about Zack Snyder is that even though he sort of does that, he does it to show what Superman could do. If he didn't have that restraint, if he wasn't good. And I think when you use it as a vehicle to then come back and show Superman actually being a hero when he could do all of these evil things, I think that's a really effective tool to show why Superman is the greatest superhero.
Yeah.
No,
Do you
sorry,
have any fan edits in the works at all right now? Anything like that you're working on?
I'm in the Microsoft Word stage of a fan edit right now, and that's pretty much
Okay.
all I can really say. Because sometimes I'll type some stuff out and obviously just never do anything with it. But there's a couple things, yeah.
The last part I have for you is my rapid fire question. So, what would be your favorite movie?
Well, I mentioned earlier, I really probably do think Batman vs Superman is my favorite movie right now, just because comic book movies are my favorite genre, but I think it eclipses all other movies too, just because, at least for me, just because that's the type of comic book movie that I want being made more often. I just think it hits that perfect sweet spot for me as a movie fan and a comic book fan. So I'd go Batman vs Superman.
Favorite video game?
Man, that's kind of tough. My video game heyday was more kind of like 10 years ago, so
Gotcha.
I would say Jack 3 if you know that game. That is probably my favorite video game.
What's the best breakfast food?
It seems like the obvious answer is always bacon, but you know what? I would probably say orange juice. Actually, as weird as that is, I
No, orange
always
juice
kind
is
of like
great.
a glass of orange juice in the morning.
What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Infinity War.
Realistically, in your opinion, who wins in a fight, Batman or Superman?
I love Batman. Batman's a great character. He's my second favorite superhero, but I think Superman wins in a fight. 98 out of
Right.
100 times. Okay,
That's
yeah.
how I
So
always put it too. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yes, there are a few times Batman could take
yeah,
him,
yeah. It's a
but
fun
for the majority of
conversation,
the
but
time, when it's a fight to the
yeah,
death, Superman could blow up the planet Earth, and then he
right,
wins.
yeah.
What is one of your biggest pet peeves?
I think a lot of people say like bad drivers are a pet peeve, but for me, I think it's more people who like get angry and emotional when they're driving because I drive a lot myself. My where I work, it's about like a 40-minute drive from where I live, and so I'm on the road a lot. And drivers who get like angry and emotional, it just kind of really bothers me.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I don't know. People get so fed up about that either way. I wouldn't say it belongs on pizza, but if you want it on pizza, go ahead. I don't really care. I wouldn't choose it on my pizza, but I guess I would try it if someone was like really crazy about it.
If you took all the actors who have played Superman in live action and they had to go in a fight to the death, all the Supermen and what they've done in their shows or movies, who's walking out with the victory, in your opinion?
I feel like Henry Cavill Superman would probably win, if I had to pick, but I don't know. That's really tough because then I'm like thinking about what they actually like, kind of like what the visual effects were in the movie, or some of the challenges those Superman had. I mean, if Christopher Reeve Superman can reverse the entire Earth,
right,
then maybe he wins. So and then Clark Superman in Smallville, he fought like all of his villains really before becoming Superman.
right.
So that also gives him a leg up. So I don't know. I think it'd be a quite an amazing fight though, and I bet someone's going to make it one day as a fan edit if they haven't already. So
feature length. So get on it, guys.
Yeah.
What is your biggest goal in life?
I definitely, I really want to. I just want to make a comfortable living. I'm a pretty simple guy. I enjoy spending time with family and friends, and I do want a family one day. I think, and I it's hard to say like if I'm always thinking of that every day as I kind of go through life, but I would say my life goal, at some point is to just um, have a family and have good times with my family. And if I look back on that, someday I would be happy with just that.
Well, that is the last rapid fire. I'll have everything for you linked down in the description below. But what's next for you, Kevin?
like I said, kind of still in the early phases of some fan edit stuff. I would say my next phase is to find an idea that drives me to create another fan edit, and until then, I will be just kind of geeking out over all the other fan edits that keep coming out, and I'm excited to see where it goes.